I am not a professional. But I'm going to go out on a limb and assume... I'm going to assume that the Taliban taking control of Afghanistan and potentially enforcing horrible restrictions on women's rights, I think that that's a bad thing. So with that being said, let's see what Tucker Carlson has to say on Afghanistan.
But first, since Kabul has just fallen, it might be worth asking the most obvious question of all. Why did the Taliban win? How did the 6th century triumph over the 21st century? There are indications that the single most notorious and reviled government in the world, primitive...
Can someone tell me the 6th century? Folks, in the 6th century, for those of you that don't know, the Middle East was the intellectual capital of the world. The scientific capital of the world. In the 6th century, Europe were the dumb motherfuckers talking about God and Jesus and all that stupid ass fucking horse shit. So I'm just like, what? First of all, also, I don't think they had AKs in the 6th century, but that's just me.
People famous for their brutality, rigidity, and humorlessness are more popular in parts of Afghanistan than they were when we expelled the mullahs from Kandahar 20 years ago. They don't seem to be less popular. So how did that happen? What's the answer? We ought to pause to think about that. Let's not just blow past it like it was an act of God. It's not. What is the answer? Well, countries are very complicated, all of them, so there are likely many answers. But one of those answers may be that the
Folks, brace for impact.
population of Afghanistan has firmly rejected what our leaders were selling it over 20 years. It turns out that the people of Afghanistan don't actually want gender studies symposia. They didn't actually buy the idea that men can become pregnant. They thought that was ridiculous. They don't hate their own masculinity. They don't think it's toxic. They like the patriarchy. Some of their women like it too. So now they're getting it all back. So maybe it's possible that we fail.
Okay, so Tucker Carlson, the most popular news host on cable news, is pro-Taliban. All right.
Failed in Afghanistan because the entire neoliberal program is grotesque. It's a joke. It's contrary to human nature. It answers none of our deepest human desires. It is merely a performance.
You know what else is contrary to human nature? High fructose corn syrup. But I'd love to see what Tucker Carlson's refrigerator looks like.
Staged for the performer. It's not even supposed to improve your life. It's ridiculous. And ideas that ridiculous.
So when he says your life, obviously he's not referring to women. He's not referring to queer people. He's not referring to any minority. He's talking to the white guy sitting on the couch with his fucking six-pack halfway through with the cans fucking crumpled up by his fucking ankles with his lazy boy fucking flung up in the air. That's who he's talking about right here.
Ridiculous can only be imposed by force, only with armed men at gunpoint. The moment these ideas are not mandatory, the second the troops withdraw, in fact, people tend to revert to the lives that they prefer to live. That may be the real lesson of Afghanistan. Let's hope our leaders notice it.
So Tucker Carlson is saying that the Taliban are the good guys and that America are the bad guys. Now, I don't like America. Like, y'all know I'm not a fan of America, right? That being said, I'm also not a fan of the Taliban, right? Now, I also would just prefer we don't interact in that region. I would prefer that we, either the options are option one, spend trillions of dollars to help them get their everything good to go, which, by the way, requires trusting the people in charge of that plan, which certainly aren't going to be people like me or that think like me. Or option two, we get the fuck out. Right? And so I prefer option two over option one. Now, if you give me the magic wand, right, and I go like, all right, I'm going to plant fucking trees all across the globe. I'm going to free all the cows and the pigs and the chickens. I'm gonna frickin' free the elephants, and then maybe I'll, you know, like, save the world and give everyone free rights and all that, right? But that's not going to be the case. So I think we should just get the fuck out and let them do what they want to do. And if they choose, if people in Afghanistan choose to live under those kind of societies, that's their decision. I disagree with it, but also I don't live there. So the thing is, like, I really, like, so the disaster, like, let me get this. So, like, Biden failed by letting the good guys win. How is that like, I'm gonna turn my air conditioner back on. How is it a fail? Okay, so the Taliban in Tucker Carlson's world are the good guys. And so Biden is bad because he let the good guys win, and that makes him bad because Biden is bad because Democrats are bad, and men can't get pregnant because Biden is a Democrat, and Biden is bad. And so Biden's policy let the good guys win, which is bad because Biden is bad, but the Taliban are good because they're the good guys. And what? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't work. I don't understand what this guy is saying.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Not good, folks. I mean, this is really, really interesting stuff.